Hi, my friend, it's Pat Sloan here. I have got the spooky sampler today. We have the last block. We have Cross Stitch University, woohoo! And the calendar for September. Plus, listen to the end because I have something special, so you got to listen all the way to the end. Okay, let's do Cross Stitch University first. No, let's do the spooky sampler first. Okay, spooky sampler. Our block is the little ghosts. So you have 3 little ghosts, and they go in a little vertical like this, which I think is super cute. You could actually make just those and hang them somewhere small, like next to a door or something. They'd be so cute. So they're the last blocks. Now I know there were a lot of blocks last time, so I figured they would roll into this week for you, and then next week we want to be sure we get it all assembled, and then we'll have one more week, I think, to just chat about the spooky sampler. Let me show you the pumpkin row. The pumpkin row is at the bottom. Look how darling that is. Just look. I love that it's long and skinny. You could put another little gray strip on either side and it would be just wonderful for a little table runner. Or if you like bench pillows, like the sort of long pillows, you can make just like half of it, get it to size for that. Now the flags are done. Here we go. Flags, flags, woohoo! They are so cute too. Now this is like the second like horizontal row. I think these would make a darling baby quilt. Like if you did like half the flags like this, and then put maybe did 5 rows, and then put a big wide border of a cute baby print. Wouldn't that be darling? Make each of these a darling print. Ideas, ideas. Here's another section where I got a spider web with a spider web in here with the star. Okay. So we got sections now. So all of these will end up into the final top, which we will look at next week. Plus I have the binding to make. So stripes, if you bought the kit, which are sold out, but if you bought the kit, you can still get a black and white stripe. That's what I'm going to be using because stripes are the best for borders, and that's what was in the kit for the border. Fabulous. It is all there. All that is done. Like what's nice is that we'll get it done here in September, then you will have time to have it quilted. You can either send it away or quilt it yourself, so that by the end of September you will have a spooky sampler to use. Yes. Okay, let's talk about the Cross Stitch University, and then I'll do the calendar after that. So Cross Stitch University is making this super cute little house, and Kimberly Jolly is running this from the Fat Quarter Shop, and she will be doing a series, I don't know how many weeks it is, but several weeks, I assume maybe 4 or 5 weeks of lessons. It might be even a bit longer. Once I know, I'll get you that info. She will be doing videos, and I will link below here and at my website a link to that series of videos. So if you miss them, when you use the link, it will always show you all the videos in this series at her YouTube channel for the cross stitch. Now if you buy the kit, it comes with the cloth, which is done on 14 count, which is a really nice count. I like that. And the floss, so you've got the darling floss colors, some scissors, there you go, scissors, and the needles. So all of that is mandatory. Well, you need to have some scissors. Cute scissors are good. Now there are also some darling bags to keep things in. I'm going to put the threads in here, and I love this these mesh bags. I went and put my pull tie for the butterfly on there so I can use it. I like the plaid. The plaid feels like university stuff. It comes in gray, I think in red too. Now this week she's putting them out on Mondays, so I will talk about it, but I filmed these before Monday, so I won't have seen the video, but I'm hoping I'll know the topic, and then I will probably talk about it. I will talk about it later in the week again. So this week she's going to be learning how to read a pattern, which is super important. I just jumped in. One or two people told me, oh, this about the pattern, that about the pattern, but I really kind of just jumped in to see and did it. So I am looking forward to knowing how to read the pattern, which is super important because it gives you tips and makes things easier if you understand it. She's also going to talk about the fabric that you work on and the counts, because like a 10 count fabric or a 14 count fabric has a little bit bigger holes and your design is not quite as detailed, otherwise it would be gigantic. So if you see really finely detailed cross stitch, it is done on small on counts that have more, like 26 count or something like that cloth. So the detail can be finer and the holes are smaller. So it's like a whole thing about the cloth and the size of it and how it's going to end up. That's like a whole area that you just don't think about for quilting. You know, as a quilter, that's not. Now as a cross stitcher or a knitter, you have the same thing. You have gauge, you have the weight of the yarn. Those things determine, you could do the same pattern and it could be bigger or smaller depending on the yarn weight that you're using, the hooks and the needles. So it's kind of in that realm, and I am really excited to learn about that. Now the other thing is let's sit down here. I am a visual learner. I mean, and visual not meaning video, visual meaning books. I like to see diagrams and pictures and read. That's how I learn best. So I went around looking for a cross stitch book because I wanted to find something, and I wanted something newer that would have photos in it. When you get an older book of any craft, they didn't do photos in the books. It was all diagrams, and I much prefer seeing a photo. So I found Mr. Cross Stitch, Jamie Chalmers, and I thought, well, this looked good because it also he sort of expands out and tells you more about things in the cross stitch world, like people who are doing more art type cross stitch or just other types of designers, other things that you can do. So he has the sections. He's got sections on, you know, the basics, which are showing you, how to make the cross stitch with the with photos. I believe he also has a YouTube channel. But he did a fun section here with the back of the cross stitch, which, you know, personally, I'm going to read this because I want to know why is the back important? I don't know. It's not important to me, but maybe it is important. I don't know yet. See, I have to learn. I could be educated. So here's some other diagrams of the back of the cross stitch. I'll tell you about backs. When I did my very first cross stitch was probably about 25 years ago. One of the ladies in the office, she and another lady did a lot of cross stitch, and I decided, you know, I would like to learn how to do that. So she showed me, and she said, well, if Denise shows you, she will, she's very particular about the back of her cross stitch. And she goes, and Cheryl, who showed me, said, you know, I'm not particular about the back of my cross stitch. That always stuck in my head because I was like, wow, well, nobody ever sees the back. So what's the deal about the back? I'll learn. And then he has in his book different artists who do other things with cross stitch. Like, look at this awesome back jacket on that this artist made, Kate. I just love that. Plus he has a section on kind of the fabric count and the hole number and how it changes what the design looks like I was just saying. I think that's he does a really effective set of photos showing you how detailed something can be when you have a finer weave cloth that you're working on. So I love it. I'll have the link below and at my website. So if you decide that you want to do that, you know, if you like to have a paper book also, you might enjoy this one. Now the piece that we're doing will be about this size that are on these little darling little hangers. So I will be making mine to fit this size so I can hang it here in my studio. It'll need a little border on it. And then it'll fit here because I made this 6 inches and then it fits. And the one we're making is like just a smidge over 5 inches, the design area. Okay, that is super fun. I am excited. Now I won't probably stitch until Kimberly does. I'll just follow along and do it as she is and hope that I can keep up. You know me and cross stitch, it's not, I have to do a lot of other quilt stuff. So let's look before the surprise at the end, let's look at the calendar. Ta-da-ta-da, September calendar. We have fun things like Talk Like a Pirate Day is in September. So down below is all of the information for daily, like if there's a sew along on that day, if there's no video, I show you, mark that. I am doing one evening video a month, and it is on, I think, the third Monday of September. But I'm interested. I want to make it consistent, so leave me a comment if the first, second, or third Mondays of the month work better for you. There are often holidays in there, and I might start not doing videos on a holiday. I don't know, because I might eventually want to go somewhere on a holiday weekend. Also on the second page, remember there's 2 pages. On the second page is all the sew-alongs just listed, what's coming up. So I have another surprise that I haven't told you yet, but it's from a pattern, but you're going to love it, using a jelly roll, and a Christmas jelly roll. It's definitely a Christmas project, but you could use other fabrics too. So that might work. See, I'm not telling you yet about it, but soon. And that's coming up, so that we'll sew along and have a super cute Christmas quilt. All right, there you go. I have to make my other list, which I didn't bring over here, which says what UFOs I'm doing. I'm probably just going to modify the one that I've been working on and just add on it again for September, because I really can't spend a lot of time on that in September. So I'm going to give you a little brief look at Oh My Stars. Tomorrow I will talk about that. It's up on my wall. You can see the stars, but I have some process videos I did, and I will talk about a little bit more about color placement tomorrow. I have a whole kit of Cross Stitch University that will go to somebody. Plus, I'd put some quilt stuff in there. I have this yummy Jolly Bar from Kate Spain, my buddy. And so if you cut that in half, you can do an Oh My Stars. And then also a Aurifil thread in here. And I have a pulley and some scissors, another kind of scissors in here, and a little pulley for the bag. So if you want to have this come to your house instead of being at my house, go over to my website, and that's where you will leave me a comment, and I tell you what to say over there. Link is in the description box below. Okay, my friend, I love you. Mwah. See you online.